When you first start the program, you'll be presented with use ModBus Simple and CFG. Select yes, only ModBus Simple, select MBS. The purpose of the config file here is a config file. It's a register type and variable name. Those show up here. I'm going to start with the ModBus Simple and config. So I'm going to click this one. All of these all these tabs are going to show. And now I'm being prompted to find the serial port. So what you do is you go to the computer and type device manager, and you'll pull up the dev and find the device that you know is your device. You could plug it in and plug it out. This one is COM7. So device ports COM7. So we're going to select COM7. The device I'm hooking up to is slave ID 1, parity none. This is the most common, 9600. Once we have these, the COM is not engaged yet. I'm going to click this button, and these are all these variables are going to be read in the progress will be shown here. So I'm going to click set. I'm going to select the file. This file represents a thermal mass flow meter, and we'll give you this file. Then you can modify it. So I'm going to double click that. Now it's reading all the variables from here. So however many variables there are here are the results. Now if this meter isn't your meter, the purpose of the ModBus Simple is for you to discover what the type and registers are for whatever. So let's say you know that your register 0 is for main flow and SCFM. So registers, I'm going to type that to register 0, and you believe it's IEEE CDAB. And then you type the SCFM CDAB. So this will be saved when you leave. So you could change all of these to what you need. So these will be saved. So to discover what they are, we will select a type. Let's say I'm going to type, most people think it's ABCD. I'm going to read register 12 of this COM7 of slave ID 1 at 9600 none. Read, and the number isn't reading what I want, but what we have that's different than ModBus Poll is we have the 4 different representations of a 32-bit register. A, B, C, D, blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. They are in ABCD, BADC, DCBA, CDAB. In this particular read for register 12, when I say display that value here in ABCD, that's not what I'm looking for. This is this number. But look at this number here that lives 26.326. That's a CDAB. So I'm going to say, okay, it's probably a CDAB. So I select CDAB, read, there is the number, and there's the type identifier. If this was a writable variable, you could write whatever you want in that type. We go to different types. We have different variable types, a U32 and I16. So we're going to go in this IEEE 754. We're going to read this value. We know that's what it is. Here are also some of the other helpful registers, the write register, and here's the holding registers, and the holding registers in byte order with the CRC. This little routine will let you meddle with IEEE 754. Here's ABCD, CDAB, so I could see what this particular value, 247681, I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to copy this value, Control-C, run the converter, paste it in here, Control-V, and 24, 26, whatever that is, as a CDAB. What we care about in this one is CDAB is representatives 25, 12, 41, 25, 41. So it's not exactly the same number, but it's got the D6 and the 41. These values here are the bigger parts. So you can have U32 signed or unsigned. Here's this I32, U32. Here's a float array where you put the array and find out what the variable is given the type you have. So that's what those are for. This gives you a little bit more detail of it. So that's for the purpose of identifying. This is what makes this different than ModBus Poll. So if I want to go, I know that register 57 is a flow rate index, and it's a U16. So let's go look at register 57. 57, and that's a U16, but it could be an I16. An I16 says that, and U16, I16, U16, when they're that low, say the same thing, because one is the lower value. So that's how you could identify who's what. So AVBA. So the other types, these are our own little string types, up to 6, and then we can read a string 2 byte, 6 byte, where the ASCII value of A is 41, so that sort of thing. The purpose of the config is you can open up a little helper window, shows where to get some parts, and this is where you can write. Real time is if I go to that temperature degree C register, register 12, which happens to be this CDAB, and it's 3. Right click clear chart, it's going to read those values, 26, whatever it is. You can also have a K factor, and we have here an IIR, infinite impulse response. If you set that value to 1, these two values will be the same. This is probably like a 20 microfarad cap across an RC to slow it down. So this is an infinite impulse response filter. 90% or 70% of the last values added to the previous value, blah, blah, blah. So then you could see how that is. So you could ignore that by turning this to 1. You can also save this, take the data, what your data is. Let's say you think the temperatures, this temperature says it's 26, we'll say 27. Your data, take data, and then save the data to Excel. You could then get the Excel data here, and you could go and take some values, whatever they are, insert, line, darn it, insert this one. So you can have a graph, so that's what that's for. I'm not going to bother saving that. So you all know how to use Excel. And we're giving this to you for free, so we are advertising here on the right. Here's a QR code of our website. Do that with your cell phone. You could copy the URL right here, TacticalFlowMeter.com. And again, now I'm going to show you when I'm going to quit, because what I wrote here is different. Main flows, and I'll say C. So now when I say quit, do you want to save the config data? That's this, yes. Do you want to quit totally? I'm going to leave the screen on. I'm going to start it again. I'm going to say yes to this, and I'm going to click this. I'm going to read that 1P, and it says that new stuff in there. So that's how that works. If I read a new device, I'll do this copy to and read the device. See, it's different. So I'm going to put that one back. Here's the one we know, and we are running. So there's that value in 27 is SI2 byte. So it's U16. We know that is a 4, which means the units of SCFM. So that's that. Now I'm going to show you how to use this tool without this config file. It'll look a little bit more like what you're used to in ModBus Poll. I'm going to start. Notice we have main real time. So I'm going to say MBS. That main one disappears, and all we have to do now is to initialize the serial port. This will become green when I click that. Now the serial port's alive. I can go to this CDAB. I know register 12 is the temperature, should be about 26, 27. Here's the temperature. Here's the CDAB. And if I go and look at, I think it was ABCD, I can read that. So there you go. That is an improvement over ModBus Poll, and you could buy flow meters from us. We will help you configure these. We have all types of flow meters: mag, Coriolis, Vortex, thermal, insertion, inline, the whole ball of wax. We have hammer unions as well as class 600 ANSI flanges. We've got it all generally in stock, and we could ship quickly, and we answer our phones, 831-244-8080, and thank you for using our product. Bye-bye.